yeah.
What about this?
That's a new theme tune. Work in progress.
That gets you up in the morning. You're gonna be like a spring chicken getting out of bed.
I just want to check. Have we got copyright?
Copyright. What's the word? Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
But you've wrote that.
Yes, I have wrote that.
So, we're good.
But that is to BC ...
How's your coffee this morning? Just water.
Just hot water, because I'm an athlete. I normally spice it up a little bit with putting a little lemon in it.
Just to give it a tinge of flavour.
Well, listen, I'm 33 now.
Yeah, I know. It's a big difference from 32 to 33.
The teeth are getting smaller. My belly's getting bigger. No, that's still the same size. That's fine.
Your feet, they just stay the same size.
Yeah, the feet are the same size.
No, I know.
So, tell me something good that's happened this week, Wicus. Need some positivity before we get into the...
Why? Is this going to be a negative day?
No, it's definitely a topic of conversation. There's no wetness about this wet wipe situation. But let's start with a positive, like a shit sandwich. Oh no, it's not that it's the reverse of a shit sandwich. We're going to go for good, bad,
Ugly.
good. Is that the right one?
Probably.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes.
So, good thing.
So good thing is we're heading into the last bit of the year. So it is a good time to start reflecting on your business, planning for the next calendar year. So that's always good. It's also lots of positives there, things that you want to change. So that's good about this year.
Aye.
Christmas lights are up in Edinburgh. That's also good.
I'm thinking more along the lines of something that's happened to you that's good.
Oh. We finalised the kitchen, which is...
You finalised the kitchen. God, about time. I actually got my big toe. Part of my toenail has been, you know that bit where it's too short and you can't get it out?
No.
You can't catch it?
No, I don't know.
I managed to catch it. I pulled it out. I mean, it was excruciating, but it was also really nice at the same time. I'm like, found you. Got you. You've been hiding underneath that skin. I've got it out. I'm like, yes. So that was quite an achievement, because it's been in there for a couple of weeks, been really annoying me. You know the ones where they go right into the skin and you're trying to get it out and it hits the skin?
No.
You're like, I need to leave it. I need to leave it. It's too sore.
Oh, but is that not an ingrown toenail?
Well, what happened was I went up to Dundee. Big plug for Dundee.
Okay, completely sidetracked.
I went to the swimming pool with Ollie.
Yeah.
And
in Dundee, you couldn't do the one in Dunfermline. No.
So this was a good point. I was on the diving board and I thought, I've seen these guys doing this bounce thing, and they're elegant. They jump up and they bounce back off it. Didn't happen to me.
No.
I made an absolute calamity of it. And when I bounced up, it met my feet, and I never got the rhythm. And then I scraped my big toe off the diving board. And anybody that's been on a diving board, it's got that abrasiveness on it. Mm-hmm. It skint my toenail, it skint the front of my toe and on the knuckle. And I just jumped in, I fell into the water, and it wasn't elegant.
Was it graceful like a swan?
Oh my God, the pain. And I had to try and come out, and there was all these wee kids just looking at me, and all he was trying to be, Dad, you're still my dad, but that was pathetic. I was like, and I just went away at the corner, my toe, and I just started bleeding. I was like, oh, this is such a low point.
Okay.
It's bad enough walking in the swimming pool trying to breathe in for an hour. I'm okay, I'm not that fat.
Okay, Michael, before it becomes the Johnny Bissett, so what's good this week for you?
Good for me? Well, good night out in Edinburgh that we had with my friends.
You were out, aye?
With you. Although, we did have an episode with the taxi driver.
Why? What did the taxi driver do?
He got us all the way within touching distance of home at the bridge, and then got to a roundabout and took the wrong turn, and I had to go all the way back to Edinburgh to get turned.
Sorry, they go, what's roundabouts for? Going round, back the same way we came.
And because you're on the motorway, we couldn't get turned, so I had to go all the way back in.
And then you couldn't get back on the motorway, ended up going through Kirtliston.
Oh, I was honestly...
But did he charge you for it?
No, it was a prepaid thing, so it was all on him.
Set fare £75.
Yeah.
There were a few drop-offs.
Okay.
But he must have been kicking himself.
Yeah, no.
But there was no danger he was getting money off the person that was left in the taxi at the end.
Who was the last person being dropped off?
Paralytic.
Paralytic Gareth. With a crooked neck. The way he was sleeping in that taxi, I went, are you okay?
It's like he just deflated his head. Like, Anyway.
It was fun.
So that's the good stuff. What about the shit stuff then? We've got a budget coming up.
We've got a budget coming
Rachel
up.
Reeves.
And no one, you know when there's so much power left in somebody's hands? Or is there? Is it all on her?
I don't know. I think, I mean, governments and politics are always an interesting thing, but budget affects you. And then it affects you if you have a business, it affects you directly. And even if you don't have a business, it does affect you. But is it all on her? No, I don't think so. Is she trying to correct mistakes from previous governments? Yeah, they all try and do it. It's much of a muchness. But what is true is she's got a very difficult decision to make because she's got a black hole that she needs to fill. And nobody knows how she's going to fill it. So there's lots of noise. Mm-hmm. And that noise it's scaremongering. And so nobody knows what's going to happen.
See, but she's a spokesperson for it. I'm trying to be softer and kinder to her, right? Because as a person, as a human being,
Absolutely.
even though she's maybe made loads of mistakes in some people's eyes and great decisions, the lies, the cheat, the deceit, all these things, you have to try and break it down. She's sitting on a board with other people, advisors, trying to see where the economic growth will come from the UK from a black pot. That can't all be her. A cauldron. It's just, I'm trying to be empathetic as well. It's a hard decision.
So I will say this to you. She's damned if she does. She's damned if she doesn't. I think what counts against is there's a manifesto out where the ruling party said they're not going to raise taxes. Now, let me give you the unpopular thing to do is there's a black hole. Nobody knows how to fill it. To keep on chasing smaller to medium businesses and increasing inheritance taxes and that, yeah, it's one way, but it's not effective. It's not effective in the short term or the long term. What you should do is drop the threshold on VAT. So from day one, you register for VAT. Whether you're a sole trader, whether you're a business, from day one, you register for VAT. And then she says, VAT is maybe not 20%, but 15%, but everybody pays VAT. So there's no more insurance tax premium at 5%, you pay 15%. There's no more coffee is not free, 15%. There's no more differentiation between a cookie and a biscuit, 15%. Yes, it's unpopular. It is hectic. All of a sudden, there's a cost of living crisis. But you're kidding yourself if you think that you're not already in it. Because the government's got an inflation target of 2% or 3.6%. National minimum wage jumped by 9.6, 9.8, and then 6.7%. So as long as national minimum wage keeps on jumping at that, you're never going to get your inflation back to that target because everything will become more expensive. Okay? So you're already there. You might have just well rip off the Band-Aid. Like I said, massively unpopular, massively maybe not what you want to hear, but everybody then suffers. Everybody in the whole country suffers. And you know what she has to do? She doesn't have to touch inheritance tax. She doesn't have to touch personal tax. Okay? Doesn't have to touch it.
So here's a deeper dive into the reasons why. This has not just happened in the last couple of years. This has been going on for, say, 20 years. And it's now at this pivoting point where, yes, there's not an easy decision to be made. We're all going to suffer. But if I was to invite change, so let's use it in the business analogy. There's over, I think now, £900 million of taxpayers' money is left the United Kingdom. It's probably more than that now.
Wait, when do you say 900 million? Is that all the money the government has? So it's got 90 days from insolvency.
No. This was one of the stats that was coming out before.
Okay.
There was over £900 million of taxpayers' money now left in the United Kingdom because it's not appealing to these people. That's why they're leaving. So you have to look at a business a process of saying, how do you retain your staff? How do you retain your people? You have to give them something to live for. You need to give them safe roads, safe environments, great NHS. You have to get all the basic things done well, and you need to be auditing them, and you need to create an environment where people feel happy.
And can thrive.
Which is not the case. In the United Kingdom, it's not that. And it doesn't take a fucking rocket science to realise that. And what I don't like, politically wise, is everybody hands the baton over. They get 5 years. But the baton's getting handed over in 3-4 years. And let me tell you something. My brother made a really valid point there yesterday. If you only gave them one time, the 5 years, but that was it. Because what they're doing is they're changing policies and they're trying to change it for the political vote. They're chasing votes, and that's the game. They're changing votes. But if you knew you were only in for one term, you'd be, I think it would move the needle and they would actually do their absolute damnedest to leave their legacy.
I think it would be worse.
I don't think so. I think there are more things that you need to consider. That it's macroeconomic, it's wider world policies. So what they don't want to do is one government decides we're going to go this way, and then another government comes in and go, oh, no, we're going to change all of this. So they try and do, so I promise you, it's no different. Whoever's in control or whoever's in power makes absolutely no different. It's their policies that are fundamentally flawed. And unless you change those policies to attract the investment, you compare the UK economy to America, and you just look at investors, very, very simple. Investors' appetite for risk, okay? Here, when you invest, you want a kidney, you want the right to somebody's firstborn, you're so worried that it's going to fail. What the hell is the point of investing? In America, they'll say, hey, let's take a punt on it. Let's do it. Okay? Different mindsets.
Yeah.
Okay? A lot bigger. Why is their mindsets different? That's what we need to get to. Have we become so, again, I hate this word, but have we become so controlled by society? Has the exception become the norm? Which in my opinion it has. I think your pendulum has swung by far the other way.
It's just because we're a weak society. And people might argue against that, but why is that allowed to happen? And again, we had that debate or discussion at the weekend. You know, what have I done that makes me stand out a little bit more? You've got wrong happening in front of you, right? And I'm just going to quickly say this, right? So I was in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And I was on my own, and I parked up the cobbles, I can't remember the street, just round by the Playhouse. When I was coming down, somebody was grinding a bike. And he was on his own, so I stepped up. Now, do I run the risk of getting hurt? Yeah, of course I do. But then all I did was I shouted at everybody else, get over here, this is not
acceptable.
This is not happening on my watch. And eventually what happened, because there was 2 or 3 other guys there, they were all prepared to walk away, and that guy ran off. And I actually said, excuse my French, fucking shame on yous. Absolute shame on yous. Now, that might breed people go, oh, but I'm scared if I go. Yes, you run the risk. But you see, being a wet wipe, you're responsible. If you're in your own place, your own town, and you see something happening, you should stay up to the plate. And yes, there's always a risk of getting hurt. But the mass majority should get involved, stuck in and go, no happening.
That's not the risk. The risk is not about getting involved. The risk is absolutely opposite. So you see a whole lot of youths acting unsocially, and you step in. Mm-hmm. Okay? Yes, you might get hurt, you might not get hurt. Next month, the police are there. They're accusing you of a whole lot of things because these 6 kids have manufactured a story against you. Mm-hmm. That's the risk. And you know where that stems from? And I'm going to say this. This stems from bad parenting. Your children, your responsibility. And I'm going to say this. Not everybody that's a parent should be a parent that's out there. But you know what we've allowed to happen? We've let consequence slide to children. We've let consequence slide. I'm going to say that. And if it's unpopular, it's unpopular. Consequence doesn't mean beating somebody. Okay. But you know what we do? We overcompensate. Can't remember where I was. I was somewhere. A bonfire night. Walking around, looking at how many children are watching screens instead of watching the fireworks. And that to me tells me everything I need to know. Okay. Because I understand that life is hard. But you know what? Children don't want things. They want your time. Be present. Okay. Mm-hmm. And have consequences, have rules, have boundaries. I saw a 13-year-old mouth off at his mother the other day, just driving past. Just absolutely, where in the world does this happen? Why do we tolerate it? Why do we allow it? You know what? You're right. We're a weak society. We have become weak because we've allowed the pendulum to swing all the way other way. And it's massively unpopular, massively countercultural. But we're on a steady slope. We're declining. We're declining as a nation. We're declining.
But that's the same in politics, I think. There's no accountability in politics.
What's the consequence if you do something wrong in politics?
There's so much corruption, mismanagement. And at the end of the day, it's our money. We're the ones paying them. But again, we've got to just put up with everything they're saying and doing, forcing us to do. And Whereas when they're doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, then how many you see going to jail? There's none, they just get kicked around and
They just get moved, So somebody moves them, somebody checks them.
But I think, like going back to your point though, having somebody in just one at a time, I think actually the opposite. I think whoever's in should get longer, because I think part of the problem is they just don't get long enough. Even going in there with some good ideas, goodwill, the term's over too quick, so there's actually no time for them to fix anything really, and it just gets kicked down because.
How long do you think it's going to take to change?
I think, but maybe even beyond the time it needs to change now. I think
But you think one of the things? There's many things that annoy me, but I live in a peaceful world. I really do. A peaceful mind.
What doesn't annoy you? One thing.
It doesn't annoy me.
Aye.
The rain. The rain is absolutely phenomenal.
I like the rain.
Rain for me is great. That doesn't annoy me.
I like the shower. I like the shower. The warm shower.
The warm
lovely.
water, yeah.
And then you can get a lot of business done in the shower because you're right on the screen.
Absolutely.
That, and you figure out your wee figures. It's great.
Sorry, go back to what you were saying.
I've lost my
No,
train of
Good, that
thought.
was the idea.
Yeah, I think Maggie Thatcher said, I can't remember it word for word, but when government should never be more powerful than the people.
Right.
Because what happens is she gives them an inch to take a mile, and it becomes progressive, and they end up taking over. They work for the people. And whether you like her, loathe her, whatever, it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
And this is another thing.
Yeah, it's irrelevant
People
who's in
getting
power.
on their high horse. It's just people at the end of the day. It's just people. They've got an opinion, and opinions are like belly buttons. Everyone's got one. Just relax a little bit. Just relax. Calm down a bit. It's great that you're passionate, all of these things. But I don't see people getting up, like millions and millions of people standing up for what's right.
No, we don't.
We'll let it slide. We just get on with it. I mean, that whole thing where, what's his name, Tommy Robbins and Mant Middleton, all these guys, why was the BBC broadcasting like 150,000 there when there was clearly about 4 times the amount there? That's quite worrying. Do you not think?
Yeah,
like what we're getting fed on the TV is definitely getting narrated. It's a bit biased.
So so let's just control the narrative. Let's control the media, and let me tell you what I want you to hear. And you know what? Since COVID, we've become sheep because we believe everything. I mean, let me just say this to you: vaccines. Okay, go look at vaccines. Vaccines take years and years to test and to perfect. And then when they have a vaccine, they normally insure against if something goes wrong. Okay, so let's just say Viagra, they insure against something happening. Okay, and then that's laid off against reinsurers and everything. The moment an insurer and reinsurer says to you, hey, this vaccine is great, but we're not going to take any liability on it, you need to start asking yourself, is that wise? Mm-hmm. Is that wise to do that? Now, I'm not saying the vaccine isn't, no anti-vaxxers, conspiracy theories here, but start thinking for yourself. I mean, we've become a society that people don't think for themselves anymore. We just accept. We accept that people go, yes, no. We become sheep. We have become sheep. We go, bah, bah. That's what we do.
But that was a good impression.
That was a great sheep, though, wasn't it? Yeah.
The thumbnail in itself.
So all I'm saying is let's be a little bit more accountable to one another. You know, we talk about communities. Okay, we talk about communities. And I'm going to tell this story, and hopefully nobody gets into trouble for this. But what I see is my daughter did a placement on the West somewhere. So I won't name the town. And we went to visit her, Airbnb. Downstairs, people get into a massive argument. Lasted 2 days, but they're screaming. But you know what? None of the neighbors get involved. Nobody gets involved. Nobody stops this. Why? Why do we allow this to happen? Because this is now the norm.
There you go then, huh?
Michael, you need to tell us something. You need to say something. I feel you.
No, because today is just a rant day, it seems.
Well, I quite enjoy life, eh?
But how do we fix it? How do we fix it? I suppose that's the question. How do we fix it?
My question is, what's an argument doing lasting 2 days? It
must have had the woman involved.
There's drugs. There's drugs and all kinds of things, and there's no. It was just. I think to fix it, okay, you're never going to fix it. But what can we do? Okay, how can we become 1% better today?
I
What
think
do we do?
everybody has to look at themselves. So you're living in America, Canada, Britain, Europe, doesn't matter where you're living, but you really need to look at yourself and go, what difference can I make to best serve everyone? It's like voting. Do you vote for yourself or do you vote for the majority to benefit the majority? And most people always want to vote for themselves because it's, that old saying,
Self-preservation.
what's in it for me?
I think it's like when we talk about business, you need good leaders in business. And I think your general population needs a leader. And that's what you really are looking for from your politicians. But they're just, it's done. Like the way it's ran now is just done. And we need someone new. And so although as an individual, you can definitely have a voice, but I think we just need somebody new.
Define a good leader for me.
Well,
Somebody inspires you. Somebody that's passionate. Somebody you can look at and go, that judgment you can make on somebody within 7 seconds. I look at you and go, I think I believe in you. I trust you. You see the passion oozing out of people, and you also see the wrong side of people. It's having a bit of hope.
and it's having, like, you're trying to, as a business, if you just take that, you are trying to drive that in a direction that's for the good of everybody. You're not trying to grow your business to the detriment of some of your staff. You know what I mean? That may happen on occasions, but it's not what it's all about. So as somebody that's trying to lead a country, you're trying to lead that country for the benefit of the people that live there. Whereas at the moment, it's the exact opposite. We're getting squeezed to death for the failings of everybody that's been before us. So just to continue down that path, you know, it's just, what's going to change? There's nothing going to change. And it'll just be the next one that gets in that does exactly the same again.
They hand over the baton. So, you know, they're going to do the budget. And again, all that's going to happen in my mind, they come up with a plan and then she'll resign and then it'll get handed on to somebody else. And they can't do it because it's already implemented. And then they'll blame her for it.
Yeah.
And it gets on.
Exactly.
It's like politicians now, all they're doing, even if you look at reform, for instance, just now, all they're doing is talking about what the other person's done because they're trying to create a wave of voters. And I get that. It's a game to get the voters. You have to say, oh, they did this and they did that. Go on just for a minute. Tell me what you're going to do, right? And what it is there's thick people out there and stupid people. And yes, you disagree with me. I don't actually care.
I actually think that most of those people are politicians. So.
But stupid people, again, I've said this on plenty of episodes, stupid people back in the day never used to get spoken to because they were stupid. And there's more stupid people, and the more stupid people are getting content off YouTube, all this, but they're still underlying it, they're still thick.
Yeah,
they're just informed a little bit more, and they come up with these different ideas.
Do you know? I think it was at the Edinburgh Tattoo this year. Forgive me, because some politician, and they all look the same to me. He raised a complaint because jets fly over, and he wants to get that banned. Flies over one day, wants to get that banned. I'm like, that. No, just hear me out. That's a waste of my taxpayer money. Mm-hmm. That's a waste of my money by coming up with something stupid like that. Okay, that to me is stupid, and that reinforces your point. That's stupidity. Okay, rather focus on the things that make a difference. Okay, instead of something as stupid as that. Okay, that is stupid. Okay, let the planes fly over. It's great for people to look up, listen to a little bit of the noise. Yeah, it might affect some people. Okay, but why? I mean, Edinburgh bonfire night. No fireworks zones. Why? Okay, because nobody respects the police anymore. You know why? Because there's no consequence. There's no consequence to anything anymore. So it all boils down to consequence. So if a leader fails, what does he do? Okay, you know what a true leader does? Is he takes everybody on the journey with him. Okay, and if one of the people on that journey makes a mistake, he takes responsibility because he's the leader. And he falls on his sword and said, listen, I should have known better. Show me a leader that does that today. Mm. Show me a leader in business and in politics. I challenge you. Show me somebody who does that, who takes his team on the journey, and when his team gets it wrong, and I mean fundamentally wrong, okay? So there's a massive fraud. You should stand up. But you know what we do? We throw the guy who committed the fraud, we throw him under the bus. Okay, we say, this is the guy that's wrong. politics are great. Look at your ferries. They throw the people under the bus. The leader should be the one that says, you know what, under my watch, this happened. Therefore, I'm responsible. I'm going to step down.
Just look at human behaviour, though. Look at human behaviour. So when you're at, what's a politician now, getting about 60 grand, 63 grand a year. Now, I reckon they go in there for good moral reasons and ethical reasons. Some of them do. Some of them don't go the light of day. No, I generally think there's a lot of good people in there.
Ones, yeah.
But in my, dumbing it down in my head, I think they give you a shot in the swings. They give you a little shot in the swings to try it because you're fresh meat, you're new to it, you're like, I'm not excited, I'm going to try and do this. And eventually, over a period of time, you get battered and bruised because nothing's really happening. Your voice gets a bit louder, your frustration kicks in, and then someone takes you aside and go, we need to have a wee chat.
And then they swing you around the roundabout.
And then they take you into the room and say, this is how things operate here. There's a single train track, get on it, or you're off. And that's basically because there's already something that's created. Now, this is maybe cynical, but hand on heart, I think I'm quite right. I think there's a set parameters. There's certain parameters that they get to work in because something's bigger above them. You look at the UK president, the American president. How many people are above him? I think when I was looking before, it was about 19 people above him. 19 people above him.
That get to make decisions.
It's not, come on, let's be honest. It's no bloody him, for sure. It's not him. You generally really think it's him who makes decisions. You've got to be off your nut.
But that goes everywhere in the world. It's not just there. It's here as well.
There's a spokesperson. You know, we talk about our business. We're the ones that make the decision. Yeah, right? Okay. But there's people above us making decisions that we have to make decisions to steer around it.
It's the same idea. It falls down.
He's making decisions based on what they're doing.
Yeah. It's like a waterfall.
And I think now you've got BBC, you've got all the broadcasters narrating whatever they're narrating, but you've also got real people collecting their own information now through drones, through mobile phones, everything like that. So it's getting harder and harder for the elite to narrate it because people are already come round a different way and giving you, well, AI's coming out now, so you don't know what to believe, and it's going to get progressively worse. And what I mean by that, it's also going to make people lazier as well.
Absolutely. So I'm going to say to you, when was the last time you switched on the news and you found a good news story?
Well, that's not what sells, but I've not looked at the news for years, literally years.
Yeah. So when was the last time you switched it on and you had this is really good. Why do we only report the bad stuff? Why do we do that?
Because it's a way of making you feel safe that we're going to protect you. It's diversifying, not diversifying, it's splitting everyone up. It's that whole David and Goliath thing. You take after COVID, right? I think they had a wee worry, and I think we've said this already in my thoughts. When COVID happened, I think they started getting worried because people started coming together a little bit more. Then you had Ukraine war, you had the utilities, Black Lives Matter, then you had the 3 different prime ministers. They split everything up and fractionalised it all because you can't come together. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's dangerous if we all come together. And for people listening to this, they might think, what a lot of nonsense, Johnny. That's fair enough, you've got an opinion. But you see, when you start looking into things and you seek and find your own information, you start being armed with the right knowledge and education. You go, this is blatantly right in front of me. And people use that word conspiracy theorist and everything. They do all that. And yes, there is elements of that. But when you start paying close attention to things, you see things for what they are. There's a lot of people just walking around aimlessly, not looking. Look at business owners, business leaders. They're focused on things. They're looking at things constantly because they've got to look at a year in advance, 3 years in advance, 5 years in advance. We can't look 5 years in advance because we don't know what's coming. It's all up and down. The economy. I mean, what do you say to that?
I say that with that, we'll bring it back to Rachel Reeves Autumn Budget and see what's coming next.
I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I think there's a lot of... So what happens in budgets is they float a lot of noise and a lot of negativity at you, okay? And they do it well in advance. And what they do is they condition you. Okay, so it's a conditioning exercise. I don't know. You know the story about Pavlov's dogs? A Russian scientist had taught the dogs, he rang a bell and then he fed them. And then he kept on ringing the bell, but he reduced the amount of food that he gave them. And eventually they started salivating just as he rang the bell because they thought food was going to come. Conditioning exercise, this is what's happening in budget. They're conditioning us, okay? So when it actually happens, we go, it's not that bad because we heard it 6 months ago. We were expecting it. It's a conditioning exercise. So whether or not it comes true, I think she's damned if she does. She's damned if she doesn't. She's got no way out. It's a very, very hard decision to make. But who's going to be the one that makes the hard decision? Because in life, there's two decisions to make. There's the easy decision, road of less resistance, path of least resistance. And then there's the hard decision. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's actually fix this broken car. Nobody wants to fix the broken car, guaranteed, because nobody's prepared to make the hard decision. Because we want to appease everybody. Guess what? When you're a leader, you can't appease everybody, not even the majority. You have to make the unpopular decision for the greater good. And it goes back to that decision. If you could go back in time and kill Adolf Hitler to save 6 million people and to prevent a world war, would you?
Well, that's a loaded question.
For the greater good.
Yeah, well, you would say yes straight away, but there'd be connotations to that.
Exactly. Different things would have happened. Yeah. Okay, so who's going to make those decisions? Who's going to make the decision for the greater good for this country? Who's going to rise up and go, listen, yeah, we're by no means perfect. I'm not even expecting perfection. I'm just expecting somebody to use common sense and go, let's make the hard decision, suffer for a period of time, but at the end of it, we'll all be better off. Who's going to do that?
There has to be a way to look at the economy as it is now, which is running insolvent, absolutely insolvent. With the amount of debt, you just wouldn't be allowed to run a business at all like that. So that there has to be there's enough intelligent and business-minded people out there that could come together and actually have a solution to it rather than just keep going the way we're going. There has to be a solution. You know, you've got like housing crisis, all of that. There's only one company in the UK, I believe, that makes bricks now. The literal building blocks to building the houses. There's only one company. So that's all being imported at a cost. Mm-hmm. You know, construction's up 30% for materials. So the money that your house builders are able to make now is not there. So again, it's just adding to all the problem. Why can't we just bring all this back into the UK instead of having to import it all and have industry actually booming?
So I'm just going to give you a quick counter argument, okay? Is it better to manufacture something here in the UK or to import it from China?
Yeah, but then that's not solving the problem here.
Yeah, exactly, because what is the problem in manufacturing something here versus manufacturing something in China? It's the wage, the people.
Yep.
Okay, it's about productivity and output. We don't measure productivity and output, but that cost component is massive. So if it costs me £3 to produce this cup in the UK, and I can import the same cup from China with duties for £1.50, which one am I going to choose? Because it's economics. Okay. So, and I'm going to say this, I think when Trump won his first round, whether you agree with him or not, he was saying what a lot of that Midwestern belt of Americans were thinking and feeling. And that's why I got their support, because he was saying what they were feeling. Did he do anything to fix it? I don't know, because I really don't watch politics. But what I do watch is what happens to businesses, economics, and cycles. And you're right, Michael. We're insolvent. We're in deep trouble. And you're naive if you think we don't. Because just go to the supermarket. See how much it costs you to fill up your trolley. See how people are shopping. It's a waterfall effect. It's downstream. But you're right. There has to be a way.
But even just what you're saying there with the cost of trying to get a cup, you know, they're in itself as a problem that just needs a solution. And there'll be a solution. Like, just instead of increasing everything, make some things a bit cheaper. And I know that's a very basic answer there, but there'll be ways to do it, and it just get the economy thriving here again within the UK.
So how do you get the economy thriving then?
Well, I guess by not just taking all the water out of the well. I mean, I'm not an economist.
That's a good one.
You know, if you keep taking, like now, I just feel like everybody, you know, we're getting squeezed to death. So, and if you just keep taking, there's going to be nothing left. And then where do you go from there?
So just very simply, how difficult is it to access money?
Like, it's super difficult, but it's, you know, Like small businesses, they are the lifeblood of this country. We're the ones that are putting ourselves out there, taking all the risks, creating the jobs that are there. Because it's easy for us as business owners to go, well, fuck it, we'll just get jobs. Well, that's fine, but what if there's no employment there? What if there's no businesses?
Yeah, so what if no new businesses are starting? How do we create opportunities for a new generation?
Where's the help for all that? Because at the moment, you're just getting squeezed.
So when you want to take out a loan, okay, you have to sell your kidney, your liver, and maybe the right to your firstborn. Okay, and then you have to guarantee your life away. What's the purpose of a bank?
Well, it's supposed to be lend money, but
Isn't that is a bank's what's a bank's purpose?
so how are the banks making money now? Is the question, because it's not really through lending, if that's the case. Because
Digitalisation.
aye, exactly.
Okay.
That money. And this is
So-
this
so-
is another thing. So, again, reality of it. This really, I mean, I've been quiet now because I know I went on a bit of a rant there. So I apologise. They've put me in the corner. I went to the fireworks, right, in Fife.
Where
Massive
did you go?
queue down at Linkilns.
Limekilns, okay.
Big queue. And the wee deer just shouted out, anyone got cash can come to the front? That one's for me, doll. I'll go to the front. And I'm going myself, yeah, fucking dicks. All use with cards. You have no idea.
Cash
What
is
you
still
doing?
legal tender. Cash is still legal tender.
It baffles me.
Well,
how easy it is. See, I'm not the smartest cookie in the jar. I really am. Well, we know that
Not
anyway.
the words like amen.
I'm in it. But I see for what it is. And it's just, it baffles me how people can think this is acceptable. And the knock-on effect, it's just convenient. Yeah, okay. It's just ridiculous how things are going.
No.
I'm more...
Hard decision and the easy decision.
Yeah. But you know, an easy decision is that everyone just starts using cash again.
That is fantastic.
You know, if that as a community of, like, you know, you've got your actual, the whole UK just start using cash again. Because they now, you know, you go and try and withdraw 20 grand at the bank. And
Oh, no.
The police will turn up. The police will turn up because you're obviously money laundering.
Yeah.
And
But
then,
but you have the money in your account.
yeah,
though.
but but you don't know.
Yeah.
Like they don't. I had someone, this 2 weeks ago actually, went in to get, I think it was 30,000. And literally they had to go back the next day because they did not have 30 grand in the bank.
Yeah.
They had to go and collate it to get that further.
Oh.
Right, so here's a big shout out then. Here's a shout out to all our listeners, our viewers, all over the world.
All 100 of them.
Start using cash. If you want to get this moving and you want to take control,
Cash
you
is
get your
king.
friends, your friend groups, your cousins, your aunties, your family, start using cash. There'll be a bit of pushback. Oh, it's convenient for me. Shut up. Get the cash.
Do the hard thing.
And start working. And watch, even just as a
social experiment. Man. Let's run a
experiment.
social experiment.
try it. See what happens.
You know what it reminds me of? My grandmother. She grew up during the very difficult times, and she used to say when she drove her car, when she did it downhill, she put the clutch in so she didn't use any petrol. Okay, didn't need any fuel. But it's also an interesting thing is when the price of fuel increased, they wouldn't drive. Wouldn't go anywhere. Okay, so all of a sudden everybody starts suffering, and then they drop the price of fuel because fuel's inflated. Okay, we've lost that.
Yeah,
We've just started to accept that this is the way it is. We've lost our way,
What
and
we
it's the
have is
whole
a queue.
world.
There's a massive queue up the street to get the fuel because it's now they've made it a scarcity.
Yeah.
Whereas how about just walk?
Just walk.
Everybody just walk that day. As much as that's again the hard one to do, but the prices will soon come down.
But people don't. So here's the thing. People don't realise the power that they've actually got in their hands and the power of collaboration.
Exactly.
You've just for a minute, take a step back and think about that. What we've just said there.
That's like apartheid, yeah.
Yeah,
Back
so-
in the
so-
days, they're trying to keep everybody
Everybody
trying
apart.
to split. Yeah,
So-
they don't want
so-
them to come together.
Come together. You have no idea how much commonality you have with your neighbour, your friends, all of that.
Doesn't
you have
matter.
no
Doesn't matter where
idea.
you're from. Doesn't matter where you're from. So if you look at the American Declaration of Independence, I think it starts by saying whatever, but there's a part by the people for the people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a part we need to get back to. By the people, for the people. And start enforcing consequence as a community, as a government, as everybody. And let's swing the pendulum back to what is reasonable and acceptable. Let's start looking at that. Let's not look at the 1% and make that the norm. Let's look at the 95% and go, that's where we should be. Why are we there? Let's start fixing that.
Standards.
Morals, values.
Well, I think with that,
This is your world.
Shape it.
or someone else will.